it's Melody, and today I want to talk about figuring out how you can be the outstanding, successful author you want to be. And the way we're going to look at it today is we're going to look at another author who has found his success. He's found his path to success. We're going to look at his, not because you should copy him, but because you can look at what he does and you can look at the ingredients he needed and you can figure out if any of those ingredients go into your recipe. So his success stems from several factors. His name is Tim Ferriss, and let's take a look at how he found success. Number one, he started the 4-Hour Work Week book. I'm not saying that was the first thing he did. I'm just saying we're going to start with that because we are authors, and so our books are foundational to what we do. Now, this book, the 4-Hour Work Week, presented this unconventional, this fresh perspective on work, on life, on time management. It offered practical advice on how to streamline work processes, be more efficient, and create a lifestyle that emphasized personal fulfillment. So many of us, when this book came out, right, and we still do, but so many of us were feeling like, head down, slog, slog, slog. We have one day on the weekend to do all our chores, and then we might have like Saturday night to relax. And just like, that's not personal fulfillment. And so he really spoke to those people. He understood and he spoke to them. Then he has a really strong author brand. Pardon me. It's a really strong personal brand. He puts together lifestyle design and productivity hacks with experimentation. So he engages his audience not just through his writing style and his relatable, charismatic personality, but he understands what his brand is. This whole idea of experimentation and learning and passing on the learning, right? He used effective marketing and promotion strategies. He used various platforms. He had a blog and a podcast and social media. His marketing strategies, he really worked on creating anticipation, like building buzz around his books and all his projects. He was really, really good at that. And then, of course, his podcast success, The Tim Ferriss Show. He interviews other successful professionals in various fields, and he provides valuable insights and advice. And people love getting that practical advice, and it's helped him create influence and become highly popular. Now, I'm going to go back to experimentation and practical advice, not because you should be doing this, but he really leaned into this. Like, he decided, I'm going to test everything on me. I'm going to learn what works. I'm going to learn what doesn't work. And I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to pass that on. He did that in health and fitness. He did that in work. He did that in productivity. And his listeners, his viewers, his followers found practical advice in his approach. And that was really, really appealing. Now, I'm not saying you need to experiment, but find like that piece of yourself and then make that part of your brand, make that the foundation of your brand. And then engagement with readers. He didn't throw stuff out. He responded to comments. He interacted with people. He was willing to take feedback. He incorporated the feedback. He really built this sense of community and kind of connection with his readers. And that was really important. But not only with his readers, and especially with his podcast, he built relationships with influential people across a variety of industries. He didn't think, oh, I just have to do this or just this. He featured a variety of people on his podcast, which led to collaborations. He worked on projects with them that further expanded his network and also helped him gain credibility. And remember, you can apply this same strategy. You can, for example, have a podcast. It doesn't have to be a podcast, guest, blogging, whatever it is, but you can build relationships with people and you can do exchanges of some sort, but you don't have to stop there. You can build partnerships through that and continue to expand your network that way. Quality content. He knew what his audience wanted, and he created content that resonated with them. He understood that. He presented high quality content that mattered to his audience. He gave talks, he had his podcast, he's written articles, he's got his book. So he has lots of quality content out there. So again, I'm not suggesting that you should be Tim Ferriss. Every author, every entrepreneur needs to find their own unique path, one that works for them. And so what we're doing here is we're looking at another author, we're looking at how he found success so that you can look at that and think, well, how can I find success? Not exactly like him, but what can I pull from that to help me find success? And I have 3 ideas for you to start this process. And the very first one is to craft your unique perspective. What are those, 3 words? What are those, that those ideas that really set you apart? What are your unique perspectives? What is this? Are you giving practical advice? Are you, what are those key points? What are those key insights? What is distinct about you and your book content? And how can that benefit your audience? And then define your author brand. Start by coming up with 3 words that encapsulate the essence of you and your writing and the message you want to convey, your personality. Think emotions, think values, think themes, and come up with those 3 words, because those 3 words can then become your brand identity, and your marketing efforts and your whole brand will be guided by those 3 words. And then my final suggestion is to leverage platforms for audience engagement. So if you have a book, but you're not on social media and you don't have a podcast, or you're not being a guest on podcasts, you're not writing articles, or you don't have a blog, or, yada, 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 determine which platforms are going to be the most relevant for your target audience and develop a strategy around that. I'm not saying you have to have a blog and a podcast and YouTube channel and write articles. I'm not saying you have to do everything. Start with one. Pick one platform that you know your audience is there, and leverage that platform. Work hard on that one platform. It will do you so much better than trying to be everywhere at once. You can build up to be everywhere if you want, but start with that one platform. All right, those are my ideas for today. Tell me how they go. Leave me a comment. I look forward to hearing more about your success.